Japan.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, what's up? My name's Anna. Welcome to my channel. I am going to be a junior in college this coming fall. I go to West Virginia University, or WVU, in Morgantown, West Virginia. Today I'm going to be doing a video on going out and partying at WVU. I want to put a little disclaimer out there. I am in no way condoning underage drinking or breaking the law or anything like that. Everyone should be smart and safe, and I actually really mean that. I know a lot of you guys are going to be incoming freshmen. Just be smart, be careful. I'm just trying to help you out so that you can have a better and safer experience. I can't control what you do, so if you do decide to go out and you do decide to party, you should listen to me and follow these tips. Okay, so I have three main categories: what to wear, where to go, miscellaneous. So let's just hop right into it because I got a lot of info. So number one is what to wear. Wherever you go, it's going to be different depending on what day it is, what the scene is looking like. So before we begin, I want to tell you guys like kind of what the options are. There's three options. You can either go to the clubs, the frats, or a house party. Basically, if you go to a house party, a frat, or a club, a really safe outfit for any of those would be a nice pair of jeans, some platforms or sandals or booties, a nice top. That's pretty much like the go-to for people. For clubs, it's a little bit more acceptable to wear fancier clothing. You can do like a dress and heels or wedges. You could do a skirt and some over-the-knee boots. You can do like a nice top or a bodysuit. My advice for you on clothing is to get creative, because it is such a fun time for you to like dress up, because you can pretty much do whatever you want. Nobody really cares what you're wearing as long as you rock it and you're not overdressed. Okay, so now for number two, which is where to go. So on certain days, there's certain places that are a little bit more lit than others. I'm gonna just go through all the options of where you can go and then what days is better to do that on. Some tips for like each location, if that makes sense, so you'll understand once I get started. Number one is going to be the clubs. There are a few different clubs that you can go to downtown. There's Annex, HQ, Blaze, Code, and Liquid. I know they're all really dumb names. I don't know why they're called that. Those are all the main clubs. There's a couple other like little ones, but you don't need to worry about that. These are the only ones that are relevant. I would say the best club is Code. It just opened and it's just where most people are at. However, if you are an incoming freshman, a lot of freshmen go to Annex. It's one of those things that it becomes cringy over time, but as a freshman, you have to experience it. Everyone has to experience a night at Annex. It's very unique. But once freshman year is over, I recommend never going to Annex again. But it is fun for the first year, so take advantage of that. Also at Annex, they have 25-cent mixed drinks a lot of nights, especially on Thursday. If you follow any of the like WVU Snapchat or Instagram pages, not the official ones, but like the party accounts, they'll tell you a lot of times like what the specials are for each club. However, I recommend that you go earlier because the covers will increase so much. It'll be after a certain time, so like after 11 or midnight, they'll increase the cover to like $5 or $10. Although that doesn't sound like too much, it adds up when you're going out like 3 or 4 nights a week. If you want to do it a little cheaper, I would definitely recommend going earlier to clubs. The nights to go to clubs are usually going to be on either Thursdays or Saturdays. On Thursdays, there's a lot of drink specials. So basically, if people are doing anything on Thursday nights, it's usually going to be the clubs. And the other night is on Saturdays. Okay, so option number two is house parties. So the best days for house parties are going to be Fridays, Saturdays, and holidays. So that being like Halloween or maybe like Valentine's Day, stuff like that. But Fridays are usually the day to have a house party. I couldn't tell you why that they have house parties on Fridays, but it's just a thing. That's probably the best day to look for that. Also, Halloween is one of the best holidays at WVU, as long as you don't get tear gassed, which I'll be talking about in another video. It is so much fun if you can find like a good house party, especially like Halloween. Try to avoid the clubs. It can be fun, but in general, house parties are the way to go. The two places where you're gonna find house parties are in two kind of separate areas in Morgantown. The first one is gonna be Sunnyside. It used to be a lot more lit back in the day, but again, there's been a lot of police presence and things. RIP to Sunnyside. Or it's going to be on the other side of town, which is near this place called Little General, which is a little gas station. As far as drinks go, it's usually BYOB. There's not usually any kind of drink supplied at house parties. You have to bring your own stuff because no no one's gonna like give stuff away for free. Also, you don't usually have to know someone to get in a house party. If you found the address on a WVU party Snapchat, it's usually gonna be open. It's not like you have to know the person that lives there to go there. However, sometimes they'll charge a cover for guys. If you're a guy, in general, it's gonna be harder for you to get into parties. It's pretty sexist, but that is the truth. For house parties, those are usually going to start around 10 p.m. Oh, I forgot to say, for clubs, those are going to start around 10 o'clock earliest. It'll probably get lit mostly from about 11 to 1 a.m. So if you go before 10 p.m., there's going to be no one there. And then if you go after 2 a.m., most likely there's not going to be anybody there. In general, I still would not show up until 11 earliest. And the last option for going out is going to be fraternities. These ones are the most difficult and they're fun, but they can get old. So first of all, do not overdress if you're going to a frat party. I see people walk in with tight dresses and over-the-knee boots or 6-inch heels, and if you're just going out and you know you're only going to a frat, I would not recommend wearing that because you're gonna slip and fall. In every frat that I've been to, they are the farthest thing from clean that you could ever imagine. The floors will always be wet and always be slippery, and I guarantee you, you will fall. So going along with that, make sure you wear a pair of shoes that you do not care if you ruin, and also bring your own toilet paper, which I also mentioned in a previous video. And for frats, they usually start around 9 to 10 p.m. I would say like around 10 p.m. Again, with frats, it is definitely BYOB unless stated otherwise, but it's always a good idea to bring your own stuff. And going along with that, do not ever leave your drink unattended. If somebody does pour you something, watch them the entire time. Do not take it if you didn't see them pour it. I know people forget about this, or they're like, yeah, I've heard that a million times, but like, I'm serious. Another thing about frats that you want to keep in mind is if you have friends that are boys or boyfriends, you can't go. There's pretty much no exceptions unless they know somebody that said that they can get them in. If you just think that you're gonna walk up there with a good ratio, so like 15 girls to 1 guy or something like that, no frats do that. They will not let you in. Occasionally they'll let you in if you pay like $15 to $20, but no boy's gonna want to do that anyways. Unfortunately, boys cannot get in to frats at all. It'll be a lot easier if you just leave them behind. And the best times for frats are definitely going to be Fridays. There's a bunch of frats that like specifically have parties every Friday, so that is definitely going to be the best day to do that. Otherwise, it's just going to be on a case-by-case basis. A lot of frats will have parties for like different holidays. Okay, and now for miscellaneous. These are just a couple random tips that I thought of that I think you guys should definitely listen to. My golden trick for eating. First of all, please eat before you go out. Don't think that you are just gonna eat later, that you're not hungry. It doesn't matter if you're hungry or not. So usually what I do is I'll get food and eat it at around 5 p.m. So before I like start getting ready or pre-game or doing anything, and I'll eat half of it then and then save half of it for later. It allows you to not get sick because you don't have anything in your stomach, so you don't have to go out and spend $10 downtown, because trust me, once you're downtown and after you came out of the clubs or whatever, you're gonna want to buy food and it adds up very quickly. Another thing that I used a lot my freshman year, this is something that not everyone is gonna want to do, but I think it's kind of funny and it actually kind of works. So when I was a freshman, we would bring water or a soda to drink while we were waiting in line for the clubs, because the lines can get really long. I'm talking like an hour to wait. In the winter times, we would bring a jacket because it would be literally 10 degrees outside sometimes. Whatever things that we brought that we couldn't bring into the club or that we didn't want to bring into the club, we would at the last minute go hide them in a crevice. Now, a crevice, my friend, is a word that I kind of just made up. Downtown, there'll be a door to, say, an apartment above the street level. There's a little crevices, these little corners. A lot of times we would take our drink, jewel, or jacket that you don't want to or can't bring into the club. We would just find a little crevice in an alleyway, somewhere that didn't have a lot of foot traffic. We would just put all of our stuff in there. Whenever we did that, we never had anything stolen, anything taken, anything messed with. Yeah, it's kind of strange, but if you want to bring something downtown, town that you can't bring in to the clubs, I would definitely recommend finding a crevice or like a bush or something where you can just put your stuff. Another thing is, one of the club's HQ, they will not let you bring in jewels. So that's one of those things where you might want to use a crevice. Okay, so I'm sweating, and the last tip I have for you is, I need to word this correctly, how to be responsible when pre-gaming in the dorms. Hopefully you're pre-gaming with water, and hopefully you're just staying hydrated, but whatever you choose to do, I'm going to tell you how to be smart about it. There's a specific way of how not to get in trouble. So my first tip for that is to not carry anything openly in the hallways. Your RAs are going to be walking up and down the hallways all night. If they see you with something you should not have, you'll get written up, or even worse. If you are having a little pregame in your dorm, or you're just hanging out with a bunch of friends in your dorm, always just be courteous. Do not be too loud. At night, the RAs have to walk through every hallway in the dorm to make sure that everyone's, like, I don't know, not dying. If you are being obnoxiously loud, they will knock on your door and give you a citation, and if you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing in there, then you're gonna get even bigger of a citation. Keep the door closed, and if all else fails and you get a knock on the door, there's a little procedure that you should do to make sure that you're good. First thing is, tell everybody in the room to be quiet. No one should speak. Second of all, if you have any type of paraphernalia, hide it so that it's not in plain sight, and have one person who is a very responsible person open the door and close the door behind them and talk to them outside. But don't ever open the door completely and show all these people in there, because that could cause problems. If you do have a situation, the 3 golden steps: make everybody be quiet, put things away that should not be out, and have one person talk to them outside the dorm. So that is all the tips I have for this video. That concludes all of my going out tips. I hope you guys enjoyed. Just please be smart and have fun, but be responsible. There are a lot of stupid people at WVU. Have a lot of fun, but protect yourself and look out for your friends. Make sure you're with friends that you can trust to do the same for you if something were to happen to you. I don't want to see any of you guys get kicked out or drop out. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram right here. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.